Okay, today we are going to learn about naming acids and bases. You will need your periodic chart, the star chart for the polyatomic ions. So right here on this side. But first we're going to start off with something much simpler. We're going to go from easy to difficult. Today is Tuesday the 29th. Naming acids and bases. We are first going to start off with naming bases, okay? You can make a note that OH equals a base. Anything with H equals an acid. And OH actually stands for hydroxide. So you could write OH equals. I'll give you a minute to write that down so you can also see how I'm going to solve them. Okay, first I want to identify, I'm looking at 1 through 9. I want to identify all the bases. Okay, so for number 1, is that an acid or a base? Well, you said base because you saw the OH. Acid or a base? Acid because it just has an H. Acid because it has an H. Acid because it's just an H. Acid, it's just an H. Number 7, acid or a base? Number 8, acid or a base? And 9 is an acid because there's just an H. If there is not an OH, it is an acid. Okay, so in order to do these, if you wanted, because you already know OH stands for hydroxide, you could just write hydroxide for the bases. Okay, but then the second part, you need to actually write the element. If you are unsure what these elements are, the symbols, you can just refer to your periodic chart. Na on the periodic chart, it's right here. It is atomic number 11, it's sodium. Oopsies. Ca, can anyone tell me what Ca stands for? Calcium. Last but not least, Fe. It's atomic number 26, stands for iron. So that is how you would name bases. You can identify a base if it has the letters OH. Okay? OH stands for hydroxide, and just whatever element is in front of the OH, you write the element, and then you write hydroxide. The next easiest ones to name are the acids, but the acids with only 2 letters. So let's identify the acids with only 2 letters. This only has 2 letters. And it has to start with an H. So 2 letters and it starts with an H. Okay. I'm going to make a note at the bottom. If it's 2 letters and starts with an H, you start off writing it. First of all, it is an acid, but it starts with hydro. It's hydro and then whatever the element is, element name. Example, H F would be hydrofluoric. I'll give you a minute to write that down so you can keep it. Our exam is next week. And you could write acid at the end. So right now we're naming acids with only 2 letters that start with an H. So for number 3, hydro, S stands for sulfur, so you would write sulfuric acid. Number 9, hydro. P stands for phosphorus, so you would write phosphoric acid. And the last 3 is when you are going to look at your polyatomic chart on the star chart. So please pull this out. It says polyatomic ions right here. Cross off number 5. When you're looking at these, you're really only looking at this part, which is called the polyatomic ion. So SO3, you want to look it up on the chart. It's right down here on the bottom. SO3 is sulfite. Okay, it ends in ITE. If you flip on the very back, and we'll keep practicing this, if the polyatomic ion ends in ITE, change it to OUS. So again, we said sulfite, so we would change it to sulfurous acid, and that's what you would name it. Okay, and PO4, I'm going to look at the polyatomic chart for PO4, which is right here, and it's phosphate, ATE, phosphate. So I change it to IC. So it would be phosphoric acid. So if you want to make a note on the front, ATE turns to IC. Maybe there's more room over here. And this is only for polyatomic ions. And then ITE gets changed to OUS. And they all end in acid. Again, the only ones that will be bases are ones that have OH in it. Everything else is an acid. So when you name it, add acid. Make this note up here. I'll give you a minute to write that before we continue. Okay, let's move down a little bit. So now we're going to do the opposite. We are going to write the formulas for the following acids and bases. So again, let's identify the bases because they're the easiest. So OH means hydroxides, and OH is a base. So anything that has hydroxide is a base. So let's find those first. Hydroxide, number 13. Hydroxide, number 15. Hydroxide, number 17. So you can go ahead and write OH for all of these. And then you just write the element. So lithium hydroxide. You're going to turn to your periodic chart if you do not know the symbol for lithium. Lithium is right here, number 3, and it's Li. So I would just write, okay, cobalt. Cobalt is number 27, and the symbol is CO. Just write CO. Beryllium is number 4, right at the very top of the chart. It's Be. And that's how you're going to write the formula for bases. Okay, the next easiest one would be the hydros. Okay, because what did we say about hydros? Anything that starts with hydro is only 2 letters and starts with an H when you write the formula. So let's identify the hydros. Okay. We said they all start with H. So you can go ahead and just start them with H. And the next thing, you're just going to write the element. So fluoric is for fluorine, and that's the letter F. For number 11, selenic is going to be selenium, which is number 34, atomic number 34. It's right here on the right side. It's Se. Hydrobromic acid. Okay, what element do you think bromic is? What does it sound like off the periodic chart? Anyone? It's going to be bromine. Atomic number 35, Br. You just write Br. Okay, and for number 12 and 16, these are polyatomic. If it's not the other two, by other two, if it's not a base and if it's not hydro, go to the polyatomic chart. Okay, so these as well, if you look at the pattern from up above, even though these were polyatomics, you still started with the letter H. The original letter H just lets you know that it is an acid and not a base. So we can start with the H's. So put an H first for number 12, and then put an H for number 14, and an H for number 16. And then you just put the polyatomic. So for carbonic, what polyatomic do you think that sounds like? Here's carbonate right here. It's CO3. So I would write HCO3. Okay. Nitrous. Okay. Nitrous means it ended in an ITE. Okay. It's saying it's nitrous acid, so originally the polyatomic ended in ITE. We only had to double check that one because I'm unsure if it was nitrate, if it started off as nitrate or nitrite. But because the acid ends in OUS, it lets me know that it ended in ITE. So that would be nitrite. And the letters for nitrite is NO2. So I just write NO2. Done. Now sulfuric acid, what do you think that sounds like from the polyatomic chart? Sulfate or sulfite. Well, what is it? It ends in an IC. So if it ends in an IC, it originally started as an ATE. So I would use sulfate because that ends in an ATE, and that is SO4. So I would write SO4. Okay, I'm going to let you continue on. You can refer to the front, your notes in the front. You're going to name the following, flip the page. As we look below at all these really quick, guys, the question at the top says, are all of these below acids or bases? Go ahead and take a look and then tell me what you think. Do you see anything that says OH? No, there are no OHs. Therefore, all of these are what? acids. Please turn in this worksheet when you're complete.